working. It just stopped working.
Yeah, we're having issues with Wirecast, and you can tell him why Dave's behind the scenes while Dad's getting this on.
Not behind.
Why is Dave not behind the scenes?
So, Dad's going to be behind the scenes this time because David is at his friend's house.
And do you miss him?
Yeah.
He's been gone a whole 15 minutes and you already miss him.
According to this, you are live on YouTube, but I can't yet verify it, so you can look if you want.
Okay, so.
Okay, yes, you are live on both.
It looks like we are live on both. So today we are talking about saving on groceries when you're single or one or two people.
Although we will have tips for a family too.
Yeah, but here's the deal with this. We've put off doing this show, quite frankly, because there's really not much to it. I mean, you save on groceries when you're single like you do when you're
the tips
with
and
the
ideas
family.
are close to the same type
so
of thing.
it's not really any different.
Mm-hmm.
But
so if you have a family, you'll get some ideas probably out of this too.
But we get asked this question a lot. Oh, there we are. So, hello, Emery and Dolphin Man and Nailed It and Amanda and Tammy. Good morning, everyone. So, this is, did you put our book picture up there? You didn't put our book picture on there, did you?
Picture?
For the Groceries on a Dime.
Oh, no, sorry, I didn't know I was supposed
This is from our Groceries on a Dime ebook set that we have, which we need to start. I was just telling Mom we need to start doing more out of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We just focus on dining on a dime because everybody likes dining on a dime. But
the ebooks have almost more details.
Here's
in
our
it.
Groceries on a Dime ebooks right here. Yeah. See it? Boop.
if you click on there,
Right
it'll
there.
give you the bigger picture.
See? Okay, Groceries on a Dime.
Should I be pasting this in?
So, yes.
I don't have the comments on Facebook.
It's $9.99 and it is a couple of 100 pages worth of grocery savings on all grocery things.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything that we didn't get put in Dining on a Dime in its own ebook sec. Hello, Charlie. Shirley? I don't know. Kathy and Liz and Lisa. Hello, Donna and Kathy again. Wow, today's the Kathy days.
We do that,
Michelle and Michelle Day. Today is Kathy and Michelle. Okay, so everyone says it looks like it's working. Is it working on your end?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Wait,
so.
But I might just refresh everybody. So this is a show, but we are actually doing a technical test too. So if you end up having problems with buffering or the stream goes away, let us know. And if it's just one person, then you might try refreshing.
Yes. Yeah, so if everybody starts having problems, let us know. But if it's just one person, just hit refresh. Also, Mom and I are not real with it. I just had to drink this nasty green drink for my new diet the doctor's putting me on again. And then Jack just fell down the stairs, so scared it out of us. And so we're going to
P1 out of you.
So we're going to try and get it
P1
together.
out of
He's
us.
fine. Thankfully, he didn't hurt anything. So
My back's feeling better.
your back is feeling better? Oh, good. All right. So, cooking for one or two, but these are savings that you can use for a family, too. Oh, I made a poem.
Poet and didn't know it, huh?
Jill, Tammy wants to know, has anyone ever told you look like Diane Ladd? I saw a picture of her the other day and thought it was you. I have no idea who that is. Do you know who that is?
I've heard that name before,
She
but
was
I
an
can't.
actress that was really famous in the 70s. Maybe.
Oh yeah, now I know
Let's see.
who it is.
Do you look
yeah.
like Diane Ladd? Oh my, you do. Wow. That's kind of a scary picture, but you do look
That's
like
what
her.
she-
Yes.
Sue Ann
Well,
was
there
asking
you
how
go.
was her Christmas.
Our Christmas was good.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
We had a few sick people, but
3 of us were mostly sick and some of us weren't, so.
that's why we're sort of dragging today a little bit.
Yes. All right, so cooking for one or two. Go for it, Mom.
Go. I love the way you always say, go for it, Mom.
First, you guys like my new little gnome mug Mom got me? Isn't that cute?
Okay, like Tara said, there's really you can use all the things and tips and ideas we talk about saving on groceries for families, you can use those when you're single too. I still use all the same things, but two of the main things they ask us when you're single, they say, okay, how can I buy in bulk? Since I can't buy in bulk and buy a huge amount, it's hard for me to save. And the other one is the recipes make such large quantities. So I'm going to touch both of those to start out with. First of all, I have never bought in bulk. Never ever in my whole life have I gone to.
I haven't either, really.
We went to Costco. I think I went 2 times to Costco, but even then I didn't buy that much when I went to Costco those 2 times. I don't do warehouses like Costco, Sam's, that type of thing to save money. The first time we went, we saw these women. Part of it is, I think we hear, everybody says you need to go there and buy. That's how you're going to save. But if you really look around, you can save just as much at regular grocery stores where their things go on sale. You can go to places like Aldi's, and you really don't need to do the bulk. And we have an article about warehouse saving, buying things and stuff like that, where in comparison to other places. But the one of the first times we went to Costco, we came from Walmart over to Costco, and we just bought some Clorox for 97 cents a gallon. And we walked into Costco. Do you remember those women? They were so excited. I'd never seen anything quite like this before. They had their big old cart thing, and they were tossing these 3 packets of Clorox. There were 3 of them wrapped together. And they were putting like 2 and 3 of these packets of Clorox, so it'd be like 6 and 9 gallons of Clorox in their cart. And they were so excited because it was on sale for $2.98, I think, or something like that.
It was on sale for $2.98 for 2 gallons.
No, $1.98 for 2 gallons is what it was, I think.
Oh, $1.98
for
2 gallons?
For 2 gallons. But we saw it for 97 cents, so it was like 4 cents cheaper than what we could have got a single one at Walmart. But they thought, they were hollering at each other, look at this great, wonderful savings. Have you ever seen it this low before? I've never seen it this low. And they were going on and on. And we just come from Walmart, and the regular price at Walmart was the 97 cents. So you got to know your prices. That's one of the main things. And
now, it was popular. Amy Decision in her Tightwad Gazette came up with a price book. And that is a good way to do that, and you can do that on your phone. And what you do for that is you just write down each store that you frequent. So let's say I go to Walmart, and I go to Save-A-Lot, and I go to Kroger. Then I would put those 3 down. But honestly, after doing it so many years, I kind of just have memorized that I know I'm not going to spend more than $1 for Clorox. I know that I'm not going to spend more than $1.99 for boneless, skinless chicken breasts. So you can go to that trouble if you want, or just for starting.
Just practice. Check, making sure you make note of what the prices are. Don't just skim over them. But the thing is with the bulk too is I know people that have families of like 4 or 5. They'll buy these bottles of ketchup, these monstrous bottles of ketchup, and so now they have to haul this big huge bottle of ketchup home, and every time they need ketchup for their sandwich, they have to haul this gallon bucket of ketchup out and pump to do that. And usually the ketchup goes bad before they use all of it. So I find with most people, unless you have an extremely large family and different circumstances, they waste more of that money or more of the groceries when they buy in bulk. So I don't recommend, even for families, buying in bulk like that unless you have an extremely large family, in different circumstances. But the average person, you can get just as good a sales, at your grocery store. That's why people say, well, I'm single. How can I save money if I can't buy in bulk? There's so many ways, and our website is just full of ways to save without buying, in bulk. Like I said, I've never bought in bulk, and yet I've saved probably just as much, if not more, than most people.
And I don't buy in bulk. I have a Costco membership now, just because BJ got one for his Amazon business, and he gave me his. Actually, he had 2 personal ones, and he gave me his extra personal one. But
you don't do a majority of your shopping there.
I honestly hate shopping there. I will be perfectly frank. I go there occasionally because they'll have some unique items now and then, like different kinds of pillows or shirts or something like that. Or foods. Like, I did have to go the other day to get me some sheep cheese for the doctor on this new diet. And I'll go there probably to get my sheep cheese, but...
Sheep cheese.
But you've got to realize, too, okay, that takes a lot of effort and time to haul that stuff out to the car. Then you bring it home. You have to find a place to store it. And the time you spend dealing with trying to store it, if you divide it up into separate containers, to have to freeze all this. For me personally, I was working my own business. So if I had to take an hour to divide all that food up, because I saved maybe $10 on this food and I spent an hour dividing it up, I could have worked an hour and made $20 an hour. You see what I mean?
So it didn't pay. I have never, every time I've been to Costco or Sam's, I have never, ever
got savings.
found actual savings.
No, I haven't either.
I have not found actual savings ever. And I have tried, people. Believe me, I have tried. And I've gone several times. But you just don't. Now, it's fine if there's a particular product that you like and you want to split it with friends or family. But if you're just going to get a gallon of peanut butter...
and you got 3 people or 4 people in your
It's
family.
not worth it. It is
it really isn't. You can find. So that gets the myth away that if you're single, you say, well, I can't save because when I'm single because I can't buy in bulk.
Yep.
I don't buy in bulk. The other thing is most recipes make large quantities. All right, I'm not even sure how to, I'm sorry, how to deal with this. There is not a recipe out there that you can't pretty much, most of them are pretty easy to half or even to quarter. You know, I don't even use a recipe for casseroles. I just put in a handful of noodles about the amount that I think I want. If I want 1 meal or 2 meal, I just scoop a couple handfuls of noodles. You can half these recipes. If the recipe says you need 2 cups of flour, then just half it and say 1 cup of flour. If you want to make a quarter of that recipe, then you just make a half a cup of flour. Use basic math. Every recipe out there can be divided in half. Now the thing is, some recipes will call, especially when you're baking, for 1 egg. But even if you think this through now, it's not too complicated, because what I do for those types of recipes, if I have a cookie recipe or something that just calls for 1 egg, I take a little container, storage container, and I put a large egg in there and I whip it up. Not whip it up, but you know, just mix it, the yolk and that together. Then I scoop out 2 tablespoons because most eggs are about 1/4 cup. So half of that would be 2 tablespoons. And I use 2 tablespoons in the halved recipe that I'm using. Now the other half of the egg that's in the container that's left, you can take that and use it for all kinds of things. If you're going to have scrambled eggs the next morning and you put 1 egg into scramble, pour the extra egg in there that you had left over in with those. You can take that 2 leftover tablespoons of eggs and you can add milk to it. Put it in a bowl, add milk, sugar, cinnamon, and make a couple of pieces of French toast with it. You can use those couple of tablespoons of egg if you make a tiny small meatloaf for yourself for dinner. If you're making a fried egg sandwich, you can add them to a fried egg sandwich. So there you're even using that leftover 2 tablespoons. So just kind of walk these things through. Think of recipes in your mind. They're easy enough to have. Just use basic math. And even if you really can't do basic math, check on your computer and do.
Well, take a calculator
a
with
calculator
you when you go
or
to the
something.
store.
Yeah.
If you're like if you like need to calculate something, my brain doesn't always function.
Or type in a recipe and calculate half of that recipe.
So I just keep a calculator with me in the store. If I'm like, oh wait a minute, how much am I going to actually need for this recipe? Then I can, calculate it up.
Can do it. So it's really, really easy to have and quarter all these recipes. One thing too, I find women that have cooked for like 7 kids all their life, they have these monster pans, big, huge Dutch ovens, chicken fryers, and they'll pull those big pans out. Even though they only have like 2 or 3 people they're cooking for, they get these big, mega pans out. And in their mind, they're using the recipe they've always used, so they feel like they have to fill up that pan. Rethink that. Buy you a couple of small saucepans that hold like 1.5 quarts, a little tiny 8-inch frying pan. Pack your other large pans, store them away someplace, and use those small pans. And that small pan will help you to start rethinking. I don't have to boil up 10 potatoes for mashed potatoes. I can just do 2 little potatoes in that one pan. And so start using the smaller pans. That'll help you to rethink. Another thing is, I love a vacuum sealer. That has saved me because I don't do much freezing. I never have done a whole lot of freezing stuff. And that doesn't mean I don't do some. I do some, but I'm not one of these persons that has a huge upright freezer and I stock the whole thing for a couple of reasons. I don't know why. It's my taste buds. I can usually taste when something's been in the freezer, and so I don't like stuff that's been in the freezer quite so much. Another thing is I've had my freezer conk out on me, and I've lost hundreds of dollars worth of groceries, and all that stuff I bought on savings, I lost all that money when my freezer conked out. So, I don't like to do a lot of stuff in the freezer because I have done that in 6 months' time. My refrigerator, I lost the freezer stuff twice in 6 months' time. So that's why I'm kind of leery. But I do use a vacuum sealer, and I do freeze a few things. They're like, about $130. I got mine for a present. Ask for it for a Christmas present, or save $10 out of your paycheck every, month or week for a while until you can get one. Those are one of the best things for singles, because what I do then is I'll buy, like if they have a bulk thing big thing of 5 pounds of hamburger. That's what I'm trying to think it straight today. 5 pounds of hamburger. I will take that home, and with my vacuum sealer, I will take out the frying pan and I'll maybe fry up like 4 hamburger patties, because then they'll be all fried and I just have to warm them up. I wrap them in separate container or separate wrappings and vacuum seal them. But then I could take those 4 hamburger patties, I could pull them out and have just a hamburger with it. I could pull out the next hamburger patty and have a hamburger with mushrooms and Swiss cheese on it. Or I could take it and have a hamburger patty with coleslaw on it. So there I've got 3 real simple meals. But I take that same frying pan that I fried the 4 hamburger patties in, and I'll fry in maybe 2 pounds of that 5-pound bulk. I will fry it up into the crumble like hamburger to use in casseroles, to use in chili, to use in spaghetti sauce. And I put them in little packets of about 1/4 cup packets, and then I'll just draw my packet out, because 1/4 cup, I can do 2 tacos with 1/4 cup of hamburger. Does anybody have any questions?
Yeah, but go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm copying your questions and your comments, guys, and we're going to go through them after we're done here.
And so I do that, and then I fry up meatballs. I can fry up meatballs and cook those up and have them frozen in the freezer when I need to pull out a couple. That 5-pound bulk thing, when I had a family of 4, I could make, let's see what I figured, 10 meals for a family of 4. For a single person, that would be 40 meals you can get out of just one 5-pound thing of hamburger. That's almost a year's having hamburger once a week for a whole year. So that way I only dirty 1 pan when I do it like that, and I have a huge supply of hamburger meals. And I don't do all of these big, huge casseroles and that and store in the freezer. That way, if my freezer goes out, I just lose maybe a little bit of the meat, but I don't lose all the other ingredients and that type of thing. Does that make sense?
One thing I do for that is I will cook up 10 pounds of hamburger at once in my big Dutch oven, and I'll cook it all up at once. And then the fold top sandwich bags, they're not freezer bags, they're sandwich bags. But what I do is then after I drain it, I put it in the sandwich bags with the fold top and just throw it in my freezer because we'll use that in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, so that
For
wouldn't be so bad.
7 of us. Well, that way I save on sandwich bags. I'm not using expensive freezer bags or expensive foil. But we go through it quick enough because we are a larger family that I just keep it in the little bags. Now, for someone else, like a single person, what you could do is put it in the fold baggies and then stick it in a big freezer bag, and you're not wasting a freezer bag. And the thing is they make perfect little portion sizes. So for a single person, that could be 2 or 3 meals. But for us, it would make a pot of chili, and I can throw it in there. So that's
that's
to
the way.
do that.
And I also buy chicken. I don't buy it huge in bulk, but usually in the bigger, they have packages, kind of set packages when they go on sale. I can get it for like 79 cents, 89 cents on sale. I always buy chicken thighs. I don't buy chicken breast because they're a little bit more expensive, and everybody says, well, you got to account for the bone and you've got to do that. But the thing is, I don't waste the bone in those. What I do is I will divide up. I think the last package I got, I paid like $2.40, and I got 8 very large chicken thighs. So I will divide those up, and I will take one of those chicken thighs, I will cook it, and then I take like roasted or something like that. I'll pull the meat off of it, and I'll take that bone, because there's still a little bit of meat on it. Not a whole lot. I get most of the big stuff off, but there's still a tiny bit of meat, and I'll take that bone, and I'll put it in a baggie, like she was saying, a sandwich bag, and I'll either stick it in the freezer, or if I'm going to do it right away, I'll just put it in the refrigerator. But sometimes I'll put it in the freezer until I get a second bone, and that one bone, the next day, I can take and throw it in a pot of water that's like 3 cups of water, and throw that bone with a little bit of meat in it, simmer it all day with spices or a little chopped up carrot, celery, and then throw in a handful of rice or a handful of noodles, and I've got soup for 2 lunches by using that bone. That's why it pays for me to do the chicken thighs over the chicken breast. I also find chicken thighs have more flavor, and they're usually a little bit juicier. And so I like doing that.
So Lisa had a good tip when we were talking about freezing stuff. She said cereal bags are awesome freezer bags, just taped shut. That's true.
Yeah.
Cereal bags make really good freezer bags, and you could do that to save money.
Well, even
and to store them, Mike, can you go get my file folder up there on that? I'm gonna have Mike show you how I store mine, which there's none in here now. On the right, the purple.
Freezer bags or foil?
Both. So what I do is when I have these file folders, and I cut it to fit in to slide in my cabinet. I just stand it up on the side of my cabinet. And it's empty right now from all our Christmas cooking, but I'll just fold up foil and put in here leftover foil, and I will fold up cereal bags and put them in here to use. This keeps them neatly stored, compact. I have it right next to my teas, so my teas hold it closed. So there's your good tip.
Yeah.
And by the way, all these tips are in our Groceries on a Dime ebook series, and I just put the link in there for you guys to do that. So, and Krista says you can seal the food saver bags or seal the cereal bags with your food saver.
Yes, you can. You
So
can
I didn't know that.
not only the cereal bags, but like if I have a bag of nuts and I open them up and use them, I use my my vacuum sealer thing, Food Saver, to seal the bag up again. You can seal up all your plastic bags with the Food Saver, which is kind of nice, you know, and that type of thing. Grandma used to...
excuse me just one moment. Guys, if you're seeing our feed really well here, can you give me a thumbs up or a smile or something so we can know that everything's working? We're doing a test today along with this, and we've just are trying to figure out what the technical issues are. So if you could do that, please. Just 1 second. Okay, go ahead.
Well, we used to save like our plastic bag that the bread came in, and hot dog and hamburger buns. We would save all those. She didn't have a file. She had like a little container, and she would save those, and that's what we used. We even would take our sandwich for lunch and stuff in those types of things. So, so the vacuum sealer works really, really good for freezing things. Also, just a few basic tips is when I buy a loaf of bread, I will bring it home, and I know good and well I'm not going to use that whole loaf of bread within a week or by the time that bread starts getting stale. And so I will divide that bread in half. I'll put half the bread in the freezer, and the other half I'll put in another, like leftover bread wrapper or some bag. And so I store half of it that I can use for sandwiches that week that I want soft, really soft, nice bread. Then the rest that I put in the freezer, if I'm going to have a grilled cheese sandwich, I will grab that bread out of the freezer. Or if I'm going to have French toast, I will grab the bread that's in the freezer because sometimes it gets a little bit, it's not quite as fresh as the really soft stuff, and I can keep it frozen. And so if you freeze half of the bread like that, that helps a little bit to use for the different and things. And what was another? Oh, when you're doing like mashed potatoes, I hate cooking. Part of the reason I hate cooking single is I don't have a dishwasher. So I hate washing a lot of pans and that type of thing. So if I'm making me mashed potatoes, instead of just cooking one potato, I will cook up 2 potatoes, and then I will eat part of it as mashed potato for that evening's meal, and then I have half of it left over, and the next day I will make like a potato patty, something like that out of it, for the next meal. Be sure to use the leftovers. And one of the big things that that helps, I find a lot of singles who are still working buy their lunch. They go out to eat.
Okay, I have to tell this story. So this happened like 5 or 6 years ago. Well, no, actually 7 years ago or 8 years ago. And we had a single lady and her husband email me because we wrote, are you eating your way into debt? She said, after I read that story, it was about eating out and how much you can save. She said, our husband and I kept our receipts for 1 year. We should have everybody guess how much it was.
Oh, yeah,
and
how
we'll
much
give the
it
first
was.
person who guesses.
First person on each.
We'll give the first person on Facebook and YouTube guess how much they saved in 1 year. I'll send you guys an ebook or a book. I'll send you guys a print book. If you can guess how much this one couple saved in 1 year, and if any of you have watched us at
From
all,
not
you've heard
eating
this.
out.
From not eating, this one reader, she saved every single receipt. Take a wild guess. Tell me, nope, Deborah, not 3,000. Liz, 3,400. Nope. Liz, 6,300.
1,200.
Nope. Laura, 5,000. Nope. Valerie, 850.
Oh, wait,
Celeste,
how many dollars a year?
1 year.
Did they
Celeste
say?
is the closest,
Venus
but
says 9,000.
nope. Celeste was the closest at 10,000, but she's still not even that close. Patricia, 8,000. Nope. Nope. Bonnie, not 4,000.
So 10 isn't.
10 is not high enough.
Lorelai says
10,000.
30,000.
Patience, you're close.
Laura-
Patience is really close. 20,000. Patience is really close to 20,000.
Lorelai guess 30. Is that too high? Or
I
you
might
guess-
give it to Patience. She's the closest one.
$16,251.
Patience is still too low. Patience is still too low. Rhonda, you're too high. I'll give you one more try. Jenny, 24. Patricia, 18. Liz. Good Lord, Liz.
20,500 says debt-free, Donna.
All right, Lisa is the closest, so we'll give it to Lisa.
How much?
I'll give it to both. Oh, Jennifer got it.
$22,500.
$22,000.
Oh, we got a 22,000 here also. Mary?
$22,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not? Oops, I lost it. Oh shoot. Patricia, email me. I just was trying to save your name because I'll give it to you since you were. I'll give you both one.
You want Mary?
But yeah, we'll give it to the three of you. $22,000. Is that not absolutely insane?
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Ellie this morning. She works at a coffee shop. And people come in every day, sometimes twice a day, and they pay $5 for a cup of coffee. Now, if you just do that in a one work week, that's or for a month, that's $100. Just getting one coffee during the work week is all. That's $100 a month if you just get the one coffee. Within a year's time, that's $1,200 for one coffee. Now, people are going out not just getting only the coffee, but then they're buying a meal, or they're getting in doing the vending machine. Watch those vending machines at work,
So on page 4 in Dining on a Dime,
Carol says 22,000 is a lot. Other people are saying that could be a car.
Yeah.
Want to save $10,000 a year at the grocery store? Look up Tara's tips on page 4 here. I added up. And this is simple stuff.
Yeah, it's really simple. It's like
a
instead
bag of potato chips
Instead
once
of buying
a week.
4 bags of potato chips, just buy 3 bags of potato chips. You're just saving on one bag
You save $155.
$155.
A dinner out for a family of 4 at $40 once a week is $2,000. Guys, hello! What are you thinking? Add it up. Seriously.
Well,
Well, somebody said that's the price of a car, but we spend $3,000 on a car, so that's the price of 7 cars.
That
for you guys.
$22,000 is how much we have spent on vehicles in the last 10 years, probably 15 years.
That was
For all of our
1/3
cars
of what my
together.
house costs.
Yeah.
And people say, well, how can you afford to have your house paid off? Or how can you afford to do the car? This is how we do it. We don't go out to eat. And I think that's probably one of the in the top 5, at least, major things that people spend money. And
Sarah Elise was talking about the coffee. She says, and that's if they don't tip. I work as a barista
Oh,
as
yeah.
a side job, and some people tip like crazy, like $5 tip on a $5 drink.
I
Yeah.
know.
Whoa.
And see, some people get it in the morning when they head to work. Some people get one on the way home from work, and some people have it for lunch. So you can triple that number almost, Yeah, Mike.
Family Roots Farm asked a little while ago, from your recipe book, when you call for dry milk, can you substitute $9 for a small box of it at the grocery store is expensive?
Okay, so here's the deal for some of these, some of these things, just a second, I gotta fix something here. Some of these things in different parts of the country or different countries, your prices will be higher. So if regular milk is cheaper than dry milk for baking, use your regular milk. Don't use the dry milk if it's not that
As a matter
cheap.
of fact, I never use dry milk in my baking.
I used to use it all the time when Mike and I would spend about $120 a month on groceries for him and I and the 2 kids. And it was about $120 a month. And I used dry milk for baking, and that's one of the tips I use. But a box of dry milk was $3 back then. Now dry milk is like $9, and in some parts of the country it's cheaper than other parts. So these are not set in stone. You have to figure it out for yourself.
You have to adjust these things to yours. Another thing about a milk tip for singles, you can freeze milk. Now, I don't recommend freezing them in a big upright freezer or chest freezer. I do it in my refrigerator freezer. You can pour a little bit out and freeze that milk. What you have to do is shake it up really good because the cream separates. But if you shake it up really good after it's frozen, you can use it. Another thing, if you don't want to freeze it and you have like a half a gallon of milk and you think you won't, you might not use it all, have cereal every morning for that week that you'll be using milk in it. Make up some pudding if you think to use that milk up. Make up some potato soup because it takes a lot of milk to use potato soup. So if you find your milk, you're thinking, oh, I'm not using that up very fast, start thinking of recipes and figuring out recipes that call for a lot of milk. You could use, what's the Golden Morning Sunshine called in the book?
Golden Morning Sunshine?
Is that what we call it? We have a recipe in the book where you can make a white cream sauce with milk, and you can put a couple hard-boiled eggs in it and use it over toast for breakfast.
63. If you have dining, it's page 63.
If you want to, you can take that same white sauce and add a can of tuna to it and serve it over toast. So use that milk in those types of recipes if you're feeling like, oh, that I'm not using this milk up fast enough.
I'm putting the Golden Morning Sunshine link in for you guys too.
When you guys were talking about the warehouse stuff, Emery Shea said if you have a smartphone, you should have a calculator on it. Because a lot of people were talking about not being able to figure out the cost of the per ounce things at stores.
Well, and look at our
On the
stores.
stickers they have.
Yeah, on the
But sometimes
sticker.
they're wrong.
Sometimes they are wrong, and you have to be careful of the stickers, but you can use it as a guide. So on the stickers, in little teensy tiny letters, usually off to the left or right corner, it'll say 10 cents per ounce or 30 cents per ounce. And that's how I do. But sometimes, now be careful. So like the other day I was looking at my oils for my soap, and one of the oils said 30 cents per ounce, and the other one said $1.71 per pound. Or whatever it was. So then you'll have to calculate. That's why I carry a calculator with me all the time, because for us in a big family, I like to be really specific. Now, if you're just buying for yourself, you probably don't need to get that persnickety.
Well,
but
yeah, but I do, because like I was buying a jar of mayonnaise, Miracle Whip, and I'm just using random numbers, so you mathematicians out there, don't holler at me, because I'm just doing general to give you a general idea. But the jar of Miracle Whip was, say, like $3. Well, the smaller jar, it was for, I think it was a 30-ounce jar. Well, for a 10-ounce, it was $1.10. So logically in my mind, I'm thinking the bigger jar was cheaper. I was saving like 30 cents by buying the bigger jar. But what happened was I didn't use that whole jar up. I only used about a third of that jar before it spoiled on me. So the reality was I would have spent 10 cents more for the 10-ounce one, but I bought the big one and spent like $1 something getting the big one, thinking I'm saving, but I actually lost money because the jar spoiled on me. So you got to, sometimes you need to spend, just even though it's like 10 cents, 20 cents more, buy that one.
It saves you
It
more
saves
money
you
in the
because
long
you're
run
not wasting.
and lost food. And a lot of people are having questions on freezing milk, so we'll address that. Yeah, Mike, go ahead.
No, that's what I was going to
Okay,
say too.
so how I freeze milk is I don't take any out.
You
But-
don't have to in most.
Well, but I think
April
it
said
was
hers exploded.
April said hers exploded. So here's the trick I found with milk. If you freeze it in the cardboard, it will explode because there's not room to expand. But if you freeze it in the plastic milk jugs, some of them will have the
a little
indent.
dimple.
Yeah, an indentation on the sides. And when you freeze it, that pops out, so you don't have to take any out. Now, if you're worried about it, just take out a half a cup and put it in
what
there.
I do is, if I come home and I have like 3 half-gallons of milk, I have a little glass pitcher. I just pour a little bit from each half-gallon into my little glass pitcher, and then I set that glass pitcher in the refrigerator, and that's what I use for that week. And the other ones I stick in the freezer. So it's not really that complicated. You just get a little pitcher out, pour some from each half-gallon or gallon, whatever, into that pitcher, and then you use that for the week and freeze the rest of it.
Okay, so Brandy, I have to say, this is one way we save on our grocery bill. I do not allow my children to drink a gallon of milk a day. I hear people say this. It is not healthy for them to have that much milk. It's a lot of calories that they don't need and that kind of thing. And I had one lady tell me her toddler, her 3-year-old, drank a gallon of milk every day.
Well,
You don't
I
allow
was
your
just
kids
doing,
to do that.
I did a really in-depth study right before I came out here about the obesity that we're having. And guess what they're finding out? You know, they were saying, take the corn syrup out, take the sugar out. People have been watching that now since I think it was like 2005. People have been very careful about corn syrup, trying to eat healthy, but yet the obesity rate is going even higher. And guess what they've said it is, which we've said all along. We've said this for years. There's no portion control. People are overeating.
Yeah.
They think they're eating healthy and this food is healthy, but when you have too much of even healthy food, it causes obesity. So you've got to control the portions. Have the kids drink water. They only need, I think we maybe even have it on the website. Look up how much a young child should have of milk a day, and you'd be shocked. If you think, And a lot of times people will get these glasses, what we call a standard. Well, look at your mug there. This
here is 3 to 4 portions of milk a day. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's at least 3 portions of milk.
Yeah. And see, people will pour that in thinking that that's an 8-ounce cup. That is not an 8-ounce cup.
This is an 8-ounce
This
cup.
is 8 ounces.
Right here.
And so...
This is 2 servings of milk for a child.
And that's all a child needs,
and you
really.
only need 3 to 4 servings a day of all milk products.
Of all
which
milk
is
products.
Yogurt, cheese, everything.
But people give them like 4 times just in milk alone, let alone cheeses and yogurt and ice cream and stuff. So
Yeah, and
but that's of course we have
and
another
just
whole
to
video.
put it in perspective, my family goes through a gallon of milk like probably every 6 days, every 12 to 14 days. It'll
And
be
there's
a gallon for us.
7 of you guys.
And one of us doesn't drink milk, but that's for 6 people. That's, we don't.
The best thing you can do, whether you're single or family, is learn the basic nutritional things, amounts that you need. Because I've said this before. People say, my kids are picky eaters. Little kids know how much they can eat. They'll take a huge scoop, a spoonful, and put on a 3-year-old's plate.
Yeah.
And they only need like 4 little green beans. instead of a
Diane
whole scoop.
says that she's an RN and that too much milk from excess calcium can cause kidney stones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even healthy food can cause a whole lot of damage to your body because your body can't process it all.
Hello, Big Bear, and thank you, Dolphin Man. Dolphin is just going all over us. He's just loving on us today.
What he was saying,
Man, thank you, Dolphin
he
Man.
said you have the best tips. Did you see the part about every page having? He said every page of her cookbook has some love in it. Ladies, find your love her cookbook and cook together.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else having technical problems? We're doing a test on top of testing this, so please give me a thumbs up if everything is clear and coming through okay. Please let me know. Again, I'm sorry I'm asking this a couple of times this time, but we are trying to get our live feeds fixed.
It appears to be just 1 or 2 people.
Which, if it's just 1 or 2 people, that means your internet, you need to just refresh, and your internet is the problem, but if it's a whole bunch of people, we need to know. And, oh, have mercy, guys. You guys are really sending the questions now. And soda. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Well, how much did we say about saving money even on how
Yeah.
that's up in there?
And Tasha says buy smaller dinner plates.
But
yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot, is using the smaller plates and cups. For example, I don't know if any of you remember seeing Tara's video with the Old English cheese in that little tiny jar, and she mentioned that was 1 serving of juice a day is what people need for their vitamin C, and people don't realize that, to use the smaller. I just thought of something else too. Oh, for the pop. People worry about pop, and we all know that most people know pop is probably not the greatest thing for nutrients and that. I drink it once in a great while, and I love it myself, but I don't overkill on it. But what people are really bad and don't recognize is things like juice. They pour gallons of juice down their kids, and yeah, juice is healthy, but not overkill. We just everything is too much. You can actually, do way too much on it.
So Big Bear Homestead says beaver meat is healthy for you. Yeah, thanks, Big Bear. We'll pass on that one. Don't have too many beavers around.
Running around your backyard to shoot.
I probably would get up the gumption to try it if I went out there.
If Mike comes out, you can fix beaver for him. Oh, man.
Be patient with me, Big Bear.
I was going to say, Mr. Picky Eater over there.
So Betty Jones, cheap vanilla almond milk is to make it yourself. All you have to do is soak your almonds overnight, and then in the morning whiz them in the blender with water, and then add a little bit of vanilla. That's all you do, and sugar if you want of some sort. So yeah. So let's see.
Wait, were you just talking about juice? Because I did when I was a producer for PBS. Here, I'll come around front. When I was a producer for PBS, we did this show, a dental show, where we interviewed a bunch of dentists for a health show we were doing. And those dentists were saying that most parents who give their kids lots and lots of juice are creating dental problems and not realizing it, and they feel really bad. And that only just a small amount of that juice is actually helpful, and the rest is like drinking soda.
Yeah.
And also, he said that diet soda isn't that much better than regular soda from a dental standpoint because it's the acid that makes
yeah.
so not just the sugar, but it's the acid.
Yeah, and people don't realize milk is high in calories. You know, that adds a lot of calories to the child's diet when they do the milk. And don't water down your juice. Don't think you're saving really,
That
or you're
drives me
helping
crazy.
watering down the juice. What you need to do is you're not teaching your
Teach them portion control.
Yeah, to have portion control. By watering down the juice, you're saying it's okay to drink a whole bunch. And they get older and they're drinking the regular stuff then because they don't know how to control the portion control. You teach portion control. But
Okay, so Dana wants to know, what about buying in bulk and splitting? That's fine if you want to do that. But you're not
It's
actually
not-
saving money doing
yeah, and
it.
what I'm saying is it's
So,
not necessary.
no.
You don't. If you want to do it, that's fine, but it's not necessary.
Well, and some things, like they were talking about cheese being $2 a pound at Costco, but we can get it at Kroger
I was
that
going to say
same
that.
price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody was
But
saying...
you have to find the exact right size that's that price.
Yeah.
Or less
Yeah.
than that
So,
price.
like, Mike knows, because he does some grocery shopping occasionally when I need extra stuff, he knows that when he goes checks for cheese, okay, what's on sale this week? Because cheese is always on sale. You can always get it for $2 a pound. I've never not gotten it for $2 a pound on sale. And so...
Well, and at Kroger, it's kind of tricky. You have to do the math because sometimes it's the 2-pound one that's less than $2 a pound, and sometimes it's the 1-pound one or the 8-ounce one. And if you don't do the math, you're going to spend more. And a lot of times the big one says value size, but really the 8-ounce one is the value size.
But it goes back again to you just watch the sales at a regular grocery store. Those things come on sale about every couple of weeks. Cheese goes on sale about every other week. So, it's not like you have to stock up either on them. But if you want to, like for cheese, for example, check the expiration date. I bought like 5 things of cheese right before I left home because it's going to be fine till March, and it was on sale. So
Big Bear said, Mike's the man.
Renaissance man,
Well, I
do
do-
shopping
well,
too.
At certain times, I've done a lot of the shopping. I still do for certain things.
Yeah, and Kate, we'll go through times. Okay, so let's see. Okay, guys, I'm getting all your comments here, and we're going through them. Just a second. How do you feel about all these grocery stores? We love it.
Love them. That's one of the main
If
places
I only
always
had
shop.
one store to shop at, I
Aldi's.
would just do Aldi's.
As a matter of fact, Aldi's a lot of people thought that we were representatives of Aldi's for a long time because we talked about them so much and we loved them so much.
They kept emailing us because they thought we were Aldi. We're not Aldi, but if I only had one store to shop at, that would be the only store I would shop at. It's great. Most of the time, 98% of the time, they are the cheapest on everything, no matter what, no matter
And
where.
it's good
and
food.
it tastes good.
It's
yeah.
good food.
So we love them, and T-Land Big Bear is over on YouTube. Okay. All right. So so someone said, and I forgot who it was. Wow, cheap prices are cheap in the USA, not the same as Canada. And then who said it over here? Deborah says, in the U.S., cheap food is really cheap. UK prices are much higher. Yes. But here's the thing, guys. We totally get that. I understand. But these principles are still the same no matter where you live.
Get your mind off the prices and
Yeah.
get the concept of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Not the prices, the concept.
And like in the UK, your grocery stores are closer to where you live than we are. So some of the savings that we have in grocery stores, like we have to spend in gas going to the grocery store because the closest grocery store is 10, 15 miles away.
Incomes are higher in different places to compensate for the higher
Yeah.
grocery, or housing prices are cheaper, and groceries are higher. Even in the United States, all over. There's different, like New York City is different prices than what we have, like in Kansas. But what we're saying is, don't get hung up on these prices. Listen to and think about the ideas and the concepts, because you can adapt these to any place that you live. You know, watch the sales. You can do that anywhere you live in the world.
Yeah, and Jonathan is right, Deborah. That's why we're overweight here, because food is so cheap that we don't feel bad eating it, which we should. And so Aldi's, Laura, is an inexpensive grocery store that's only in the west of Colorado, and that line there from Kansas west or Kansas east. Like, I don't know if it goes clear to the East Coast, but it's a little mini grocery store that came from Germany over here. And, so they're just a little tiny store that has like one onion powder and one box of popcorn. And
they don't have a whole lot of brands. I mean, you don't have a whole lot to pick from, but the stuff they do is good. It's actually less stressful shopping there because you don't have a lot.
So Shannon used our tips. And the last time she shopped, she only spent $70 for the month for the family of 7.
Wow.
That's great.
That is good.
Good job.
And we say the first time you go shopping after getting our book and using the ideas,
you will save at least the cost of the book.
Yeah, you will save.
Most people say they save $100 to $150 after they get the book.
But first time they go out.
Okay, so Michelle wants to know, do you really save at Aldi's? Yes.
Yeah,
you really can save at Aldi's.
You really do.
All right. Shatana? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I want to try using coupons, but the only coupons I find are for processed foods. We are in a really tight budget, and I don't want to have to spend half my paycheck on food. So there's a couple of hidden things in there that she's not saying. First of all, if you're choosing to be on a diet where you eat mostly vegetables and fresh meats and that kind of thing, and no processed foods at all, then you are going to pay more, and that is going to be your choice. And no, it does not necessarily save on doctor bills. It will if you have diabetes. It is not the food that is making you healthy or unhealthy. It is the portion of food that you are eating. There is absolutely nothing wrong with eating some pasta with some spaghetti sauce. Really, I know everyone's going to freak out on me here. It is the portions of foods. Vegetarian and vegan diets are not a healthy diet to be on, period. You can argue with me all day long, but I have talked to numerous doctors, nutritionists, whole foods people. It is not a good diet to be on. You need your B vitamins. I know Mike's taking cover, and I'm going to take cover. I'll take the shrapnel. But you need your B vitamins. You need your iron. And you're not getting those things when you're not eating that. So if you choose to eat that way, that's fine. But you're going to have to accept the fact that it's expensive, and you've chosen to eat that way. So... okay.
Louise just said, I don't know if I missed it, but I keep a little price book to keep track of prices.
Yeah,
yes, we talked about that at the beginning.
Another thing she mentioned was coupons. I don't use pretty much no coupons. My grocery store there sends one little packet of about 10 coupons every month, every other month. I use those 10 little coupons just because it comes in the mail to me. They're already tore up and they're right there. Other than that, you don't have to use coupons to save money. Okay, what we're trying to get people to understand, we are so brainwashed, and I mean, I use that word because that's what it is. We are brainwashed because everybody's on the internet saying you have to go to warehouse stores, you have to use coupons, and things like that in order to save money. We have been without all of those things, and we still have saved money. Most of it is we don't overeat. You know, we don't. That's the biggest way to save money. Watch your children. When you have a child like 3-4 years old, put little tiny amounts on their
a tablespoon. Literally, put a tablespoon.
It's not that I wouldn't feed my kids enough, because after they ate that, if they wanted more, I would give them a little bit more. What we do is just let them help themselves, pile it on, and half of it goes into the trash. Do you know it is a proven fact that the average American throws 50% of their groceries away? Because you leave a bag of potato chips open and it gets stale. You have all this stuff the kids don't eat on their plate and you just toss it in the trash. And you watch your family just for 1 week and I bet you'll find 50% of what a plate that they're supposed to eat stuff on gets thrown in the trash. So if you spend $800 a month on groceries and you throw 50% of it away, you can save $400 instantly. By using their food.
Brandy, the name of the book is Dining on a Dime Cookbook. I put a link in there for you. And this, guys, this is 1,200 recipes and tips for you how to save money on your groceries without using coupons or shopping at warehouse stores. Seriously, this is what I used, and I wrote this when Mike and I and 2 kids were eating on $120 a month for groceries, and prices have gone up, but we could still easily do that for $150 or $175. They haven't gone up that much.
Yeah.
And
they're different ideas. Our tips are not like
it's not the
not like
coupons.
The brainwash stuff you see on the internet and stuff. So
let's see. Well, Shannon, it's not your responsibility to stop your husband from overeating. He's going to have to decide that. So, unfortunately, for those kinds of things, you do what you can for you, and then, you'll just have to pray that, God will convict him of that. Yeah.
Ames Klaus says, I'm a medical professional and I approve your message. And then portion size is the key.
It really is.
And exercise.
Yeah, it really, really is all about portions.
You need to know basic nutrients. How many servings of meat do you really need a day? How many servings of grain do you need a day? Know those servings. You hear the fact that people hear you need 7 fruits and vegetables. In their mind, they translate that into I need 7 vegetables and I need 7 fruits. So they're eating 14 servings or trying to get that. That's not what it says. It says 7 fruits, 7 vegetables, or something like that. Know what the nutrients are and portion control.
A banana is 2 servings of banana, is 2 servings of fruit.
And a quarter cup of spaghetti sauce is a serving of vegetable.
Yeah.
You've got to really, that's how I saved for us. I had down to the nth number of how much portions we needed to keep us alive and healthy to serve us, and that's how I save, or to eat.
Stacy, I put the link for Dining on a Dime back on there. Brandy says she's doing the happy dance. She found you. I'm surprised you're still here since we were hollering about the milk. But no, guys, listen. Mom and I get so incredibly frustrated with this because it is not hard. This is not rocket science.
Just stop and think.
Stop
figure
making
it out.
it so complicated. I totally understand the whole diet things. I have to be gluten-free and dairy-free and corn-free and sugar-free and all this other baloney free. Well, I'm trying to heal my body from my CFS and fibromyalgia. I'm trying. I'm not there yet. I've spent 5 years dinking around with this. So I totally understand how expensive it is to eat the fruits and vegetables and stuff. But I guarantee you, even on this crazy diet, our food bill has probably gone up about $30 or so. That's it.
It's the portions. You
For
buy
me
too much
being
food.
on
You're
these
buying too
special
much of the wrong
things.
food.
Yeah, for me having
to
to buy gluten-free pastas and that kind of thing, I do have to buy supplements, like actual physical supplements to help me feel better, which cost more. But the actual food doesn't really cost that much more. And so... Very funny, Tasha. She wants to know how do we save money on laundry detergent. See, you read our article.
You're
reading. You're very good.
Very good.
And so, yeah. So if you want Mom's book, Penny Pinchin' Mama, Patty, I put the link in here to our store. It's in there also, and you can get Dining on a Dime. Okay. So, and you don't need so much meat. Like, I have to eat liver, which I happen to like. I know some people don't like it, to give me extra iron and B vitamins that I'm not absorbing correctly. But that portion of liver that I eat once a week is like this big. That's all I need.
That's why I say, when I was feeding the kids chicken, I would take and cook up 2 pieces of chicken for them, pull the meat off, and I would eat what was left on the bones, and that was more than plenty. What's Michael laughing
Oh no, Big Bear says I can't be corn free. I'm married to roasted corn. I know, he's out the door. See you later. And so I get these diets are hard, but
don't make them so
don't
complicated
make
and
it
complex,
more
and
complicated
just
than you need
check
to.
the portions.
Yeah.
Even on your diets, check the portions.
And you may have already talked about this, but Copperhouse Farm on YouTube was saying, I know using smaller 8-inch plates is a big help.
Yes.
Well,
And use smaller glasses, for...
Yeah.
Well, and I was looking at somebody in the UK the other day online talking about America, and they were talking about having a bucket of soda. And I thought, that's true, really.
Well,
you don't realize
and
how much.
another thing that I see people doing here is they have these 32-ounce glasses, that they carry with them in the car every place they go with something in them. We never used to do that. You didn't carry anything in the car unless you were going on a long trip. But if I'm going from my house to the grocery store or Walmart, I didn't take a 32-ounce cup of something in there for me to drink, while I'm driving around. And how many people not only do they take a drink with them, but they take a 32-ounce. We didn't even have 32-ounce glasses. Our biggest glasses were 8 ounces, the size of your little dude there, and then we had little tiny 6-ounce ones. But then they went up to 12 ounces, and then they started going up to 16, and now we're up to 32 ounces.
Yeah.
Well, and what's difficult too is if you go to a convenience store or something, you really have the little ones anymore. But when they used to have the little ones, they were more expensive than the big ones.
So you think, well, I'm going to get the better deal and do that, and so we're eating more, getting more calories.
So Liz says, I use a smaller glass, but don't mess with my bucket of coffee.
You're lucky there's no calories in there. So.
Yeah. And guys, Marisol? I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name. She says growing your own produce works great too. It does, but we do the book without growing your own food either, because even though I'm a huge gardener, I hate growing fruits and vegetables. Or vegetables at least, because I don't know.
But there's a lot of people that don't have access.
But it is a way to
you can grow.
Yeah,
but it's
okay. So back to our questions here. Betty says, I got rid of my giant grills and cookers and gave them away now that I'm alone. Yeah,
don't drag those big pans out, because mentally you think you have to fill that up, and then you have all these leftovers you have to deal with. So just do the little pans.
Yeah, and let's see. Julie said a lot of people will meal prep on Sunday to make it easier the rest of the week. You can do that, yes.
You can.
But we don't do a big freezer session or anything like that either. Well,
I think she's talking about getting her menus.
Yeah.
And get the vegetables ready for the week.
But a lot of people will do big freezer cooking sessions. No, I don't do that. I make a roast one night. Then the next night my meat is already cooked and I make beef stroganoff. And then the next night I will have beef and noodles, or I'll have barbecue beef, or I'll have fajitas. I don't do freezer meals.
Yeah, there's enough variety that you can make with that one roast. You don't feel like you're having leftovers. You can.
Yeah. So Tammy says, do you freeze the vacuum sealed packs of food, or do you keep in the refrigerator?
Freeze them.
Yeah.
Freeze them.
You might have already answered this, but Patty's asking, how do we get Jill's book? And I wasn't sure if Patty was asking about that one.
This is Mom's Penny Pincher Mama, 500 Ways I Lived on $500 a Month. All of these Mom co-wrote, except for Penny Pinching is her particular one. And then Dining on a Dime Cookbook we both did together. So Nancy says at Thanksgiving time I could buy a turkey for 47 cents a pound, but for Christmas it didn't go lower than 99 cents a pound. Still less a pound than a lot of things. Yes, I usually at Thanksgiving will buy 3 or 4 turkeys that aren't frozen and have the butcher cut them in half for me. And then I use them like chickens. I buy smaller ones because at 47 cents a pound, that is great. I mean, you don't see that the rest of the year.
And for a single person, now, they used to didn't do this years ago. You'd have to buy a huge turkey, but now you can get 10-pound turkeys at that price. So for a single person, that's like getting a couple of chickens. So you could use it.
Whoa, Tasha won half a beef, and her husband's picking it up today. Man, I'd love
Wow.
that. Man, nice. Okay. Back to where we were. So Michelle has a random question. I finally ran out of wrapping paper this Christmas and had to restock. How do you store your wrapping paper? I store mine in a big trash can. Is how I store mine standing up.
And I had a box. I don't know what I got it for. It was just very tall. But it was about 3 inches, 4 inches wide, narrow. It's very tall, very narrow, and I would slide mine down in that empty cardboard box.
Yeah. And Stacy, just a second. I will get your question here. Let me get to the rest of the ones from the beginning of the show, and then I'll answer those.
So I think it's because of temperature that she's asking, but Christina says, why is mom in a big jumper and daughter in a t-shirt?
Oh,
I think because
yeah.
you're cold and you're not.
Yeah. Mom
because
gets
I
cold.
brought long sleeves to Colorado thinking it's cold, but everybody keeps their temperature in the house higher. At home, I wear sweaters all the time because I keep the temperature down to like 55, 60. Here, they keep it higher, so they wear short sleeves.
Yeah. So I'm going back to these other questions because people are on the topic we were just on. April said, I cook for more than one night. I will cook a huge roast and use half for one meal and half for another meal. So that's what we do. I don't freezer cook or anything like that. I mean, like the other day, Walmart, when they delivered my groceries, accidentally put in chicken thighs instead of what I normally order. I mean, so I got a free bag of chicken thighs. So what I did for that case was I opened up this big bag of chicken thighs because they won't take it back. And I poured in my seasoning and I put it in freezer bags in the freezer. But normally I'll get a big chicken and I'll roast it. Now, Stacy said, how do you keep your chicken from getting dried out? The trick is in the way you cook it, not really how you store it. You need to cook it low and slow.
Yeah.
So put it in your crock pot in the morning and it'll be ready for dinner, and then you won't have dried out
But
meat.
if you don't have a crock pot, I don't have a crock pot. People don't realize 250 is, I think, low on the crock pot in your oven. If you set your oven at 250, that's the same as low on a crock pot. 350 is the same as high on crock pot in your oven. So you can use your oven.
Yeah, and Patricia said the hardest part about buying for one or two, she was used to making large meals. Exactly. I'm going to have a problem when all the kids are gone, going back down to one or two, and that's just learning. But, if you get a recipe and you make the whole thing, just freeze half of it or 3/4 of it or whatever. You've already made up your meal, so just freeze it, and then eat that once a week for a month.
And one thing, too, here goes getting to know your neighbors a little bit. I have a neighbor, and there was just 2 of them for a long time, and I would bake up a can of cinnamon biscuits in the morning. Well, I can't eat a whole pan of cinnamon biscuits, so I would take part of those cinnamon biscuits and give them to her. Sometimes she cooks stuff and she'll, haul something over to me so we can have variety,
So Stacy, whenever I cook my meals, I always do my roast at about 200 degrees, and I'm putting the link on here for you on how to cook a roast low. But people cook their chicken and roasts way, way, way too high. 350 is way too high, and it gets dried out.
Low and slow.
We have a roast turkey, a roast chicken, and a roast in here on how we do it. And I will tell you, we showed people how we cooked our turkey overnight slowly, and every single person has said that is the best turkey they have ever eaten. And what I do is I cook a whole turkey, and I even did this when Mike and I were single, when we were without kids, and I broke it up into little packets. And like this time, what I did was I just took the foil that I had in it, and I sliced the foil up, and I just wrapped the turkey with the gravy on top, and then I just put the whole thing in the oven in a pan. I don't have any dishes, but I have a pre-cooked meal and I just warm it up.
And another thing, when you cook it slow like that, the meat totally falls off the bone. So a lot of times people will pull big chunks of meat off the bone and just throw the rest of the bone away. And there's some good meat on there, but when you slow cook it like this, it just falls off the bone. There's almost no meat left on the bone, so you use every little bit of the meat on there.
Yeah. Let's see. Stevia, Dolphin Man. Okay. I am not supposed to eat any sugar at all in any form, shape, anything. No honey, no agave, no nothing. No dates. Let me come to terms with this. I hate stevia. Everyone keeps telling me to try and eat it. And I have tried stevia, and I don't like it. Now, I will try some more. And if you have a good one that actually tastes decent, let me know. But to me, it has an aftertaste. And I would rather just not eat it than to use it at all. So, Dolphin Man, if you have a good one, please give me the name. Because I have not found one that I like at all. So, yeah, Jessica, I agree. It just tastes Dolphin Man. It is Dining on a Dime Cookbook. And, okay, back to questions. Hold on. I still haven't got back from the questions from the beginning of the show. Man, people want to know about groceries. We should just talk about groceries.
Groceries.
Just leave it at that. Tasha says, I really did not make any money when I worked outside the home because it increased my health issues. So the money I did went to childcare, fast food, doctors, medical bills, not to mention wardrobe. Exactly. Mm-hmm. I can guarantee you almost every stay-at-home mom, well, actually, I can say every single stay-at-home mom who has sent me working mom that has sent me their budget, they are not making the $13 to $20 an hour they think they're making. No. Period. It goes down to like $1 an hour. Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous. And I get some people have grandparents, watching. Okay, that's fine. But, and I understand some people have to, like mom had to be a stay-at-home, a working mom. You're single, we get that. But most of the time, if there's two incomes in the family, even paying the extra taxes when you go in the higher tax bracket, it is not worth it.
You have to have a second car.
Yeah, it doesn't pay.
Have a second car, things like that.
Okay, so Sharon hit again. I'm a vegetarian. What kills my budget is all the fresh produce I buy. I make soups and freeze all that I can stand the life of what I buy, but salad stuff is still something that has to be bought fresh every time. If you're going to choose to have that diet, once again, you're just going to have to suck up the cost because that's the diet you've chosen. So you can buy in season and you can grow your own and you can split with other people and that kind of stuff, but it's still expensive. So, okay, so we got all those questions. Let's see. You guys are going crazy.
Nobody's saying anything bad about the tech?
No, give me a thumbs. Guys, we're running this really long today because we're doing a big technical test today because we're having so many problems. So give me another thumbs up, please, if everything's working for you, and let me know. Yes, Tasha, right now I currently order from Walmart and for $7 they deliver it to my house. That's the best thing ever. Oh, I used to have to almost take pills to go to Walmart to get me through. Let's see. What is stevia? Deborah, it is a plant that is a sweet plant that some people use for sweeteners.
You know what? Unless you have a real medical issue, all what you need to do is just cut back. There goes the portion control. If you just start cutting back on... I noticed I went to a ladies' thing, and all of them were talking about being on this diet and how they had to cut back on their sweets and do that. And we had a whole buffet of cookies and snacks and stuff. And I went and got me one cookie, and that lasted me for the whole morning. The other ladies, I don't think they realized, they didn't know what they were doing. They would go pick up like 2 or 3 cookies at a time, eat them, and in 20 minutes go get some more. And they were just grazing on these. So a lot of times you don't need to go with the special sugar things if you just watch and control, just the amount of regular sugar you eat and stuff. Mm-hmm. Portion control again on sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Michael, you're laughing.
Big Bear I asked Big Bear how he drinks his coffee, and he says, I'm a Marine, and I drink my coffee black.
Black. Way to go, Black.
Mom's dad was a Marine, so we get you, Big Bear. We get it.
Do you want us to stand and sing the Marine Corps hymn for you? We got that.
From the halls of Montezuma. I know it.
We got it.
I was raised on the halls of Montezuma. I better know it. Okay, so I think, wow, we're getting through the questions here. Let's see. Yeah, and another thing I do with meatloaf when I was single is I would make a whole meatloaf and split it up into little portions and just freeze, one little meatloaf piece, and then just eat that.
But you could also take that meatloaf when you do it and make it up into meatballs instead of a whole loaf of meatloaf, and then use it in spaghetti when you have spaghetti or something like that.
And one thing, guys, I don't know, I think Dolphin Man said he does this, but I don't think he did it in this context, though. If you're single, or even if you're not single, and you have friends or family, or even people you don't know, just neighbors, like we have an elderly couple down the street, make up a meatloaf and take them half.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. My neighbor, how we switch, or I just give it to her. She doesn't have to bring
my grandparents, my cousins and I, when my grandparents come over to visit, I specifically make sure that I make extra to send home a meal with them. So it doesn't have to just be you. Who could you share it with? Or, could you and your friends, you cook one day and they cook the next and you split it or something, so... Yeah. Now they want us to finish the song. Yeah, cold meatloaf sandwiches are really good. So those are some, really good ones. Okay. All right. Jonathan wants to know what kind of camera we're using, Mike. It's a Logitech something or another.
It's a Logitech 930. And I'm about to paste that link in.
Mike's putting the link in for you, Jonathan.
Okay. It was the best one we could find, but it is slightly blurry sometimes.
Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, I don't like Truvia either. Sorry, it passed by. Someone said raw sugar. I like the taste of raw sugar, but I'm not supposed to have raw sugar in any way, shape, or form. Again, trying to buck myself up to do this again. Let's see. Somebody else said something. What did somebody else say?
Dolphin Man says he cooks meatloaf in a crock pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it cooks really well at Croft. Yeah, Liz, Mike loves Truvia, but I don't really like it too well.
But I only like it for things like tea, because it has a little bit of a plant taste. So like coffee, it changes the flavor too much.
Brandy, that's funny. Okay, she's talking about her husband. Can't believe how little in groceries we spent. So he wants to go. Oh dear. Okay, Debbie, I really wish you wouldn't have asked this question, but we'll be here another 2 hours. No. What do we think of organic grown foods? Okay, I'm ducking.
I know. Those I'm praying.
Okay, this is a whole show on itself. Now, we're not anti-organic. If you can afford organic, that is totally fine.
If that's what you want to do, that's...
And I understand some people medically need to be on those things, and that's fine. But if you're a struggling stay-at-home, or if you're struggling with any of your bills, you're not able to pay your house payment, you're not able to pay your bills, you're in debt at all, you don't need to be buying that stuff unless it's for a specific health reason. And
I'm actually afraid of organic, to be honest. Do I even go there?
Oh, probably not. But we'll try and do the short version.
Michael's covering
his head. Organic foods have their own issues.
They do.
With bacteria grown on them, and they don't last as long, and that kind of thing. So our basic tip is, don't stress yourself out if you can't pay your bills, don't stress yourself out over organic foods. Just wash the foods that you have. That gets off the majority of the thing.
Well, here's the way I think of it. I would love to have, what's the most safest car in the whole world? Subaru or something like
I don't
that.
know.
Brand new, expensive, really expensive, super safe, across Mercedes car. That's what I would love to have. Reality is I can afford my old clunker that I bought used that is not safe at all. That's all I can afford. Now, I would love to have a Mercedes that would keep me safe driving, safer than normal. But I can't afford it, so I buy my clunker. The same goes with our food. If you can't afford certain special things that you think is going to help you in one way or the other, Now, I'm not talking about a very chronic illness like, Crohn's and diabetes.
Crohn's, some cancer, we understand
Those are
that.
different.
Yeah.
But the average person doesn't have these problems, and they're trying to do these expensive diets, and that's fine if you can afford it. But if you can't afford it and you're making your family suffer and get stressed out, you're going to cause more stress or more health issues by being stressed with this stuff than you are actually eating just preservatives and food and stuff like that.
Yeah. So basically,
Also, when people hear preservatives, they think about a box of meat that sits on a counter for 7 years,
Yeah.
and that's most food is not that.
No, they are.
Like,
And
granola bars are considered to be processed, even though it's just oatmeal.
yeah,
and
organic
raisins and
granola.
stuff
Yeah.
all jammed together. That's the
Granola bars are
processing.
processed. And Michael, at my age, I need all the preservatives I can get anyway, right? Don't you agree?
Yeah.
and
You're
I'll
gonna-
admit, I think a huge portion of it is your genetics.
Yeah.
I think that some people are just genetically predisposed to having more cancers than not. And I agree that eating some of the pesticides and that kind of thing could help do that. But if that's not you, then I really wouldn't worry about it. I mean,
my
I don't
parents
know.
are 88, 89, and they've eaten tons of all the so-called bad stuff or whatever. And they're healthier than what we are, really.
yeah.
Than you are, and you're eating all the special
Yeah,
stuff.
so
it's-
I don't know.
That's
It's,
another whole thing that
it's
we
another
kind of
show, but yeah. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, I mean, grow your own, guys. Really, it's not that hard to have a garden, so you can do that and stick to basic foods.
Yeah, keep it
Don't-
simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Don't make it so hard. It's people think we sit here and eat nothing but canned foods all the time, and we really don't.
I was thinking the other day,
So-
I eat almost nothing for canned foods, not because I'm against them. It's just the way I do my menus. It just happens that way, whatever's on sale.
Yeah, so I don't know. Bonnie's making my granola bars tomorrow. You will love them. They're in Dining on a Dime if anybody has them. Granola bars are delicious. Yes, dear?
Well, you may have already answered this, but Peg just asked, do you have a set budget for food for a month?
I don't, because I just buy what I absolutely
Yeah.
have to eat for that week or that month. And I don't spend more than what I need because I'm not overeating. And I don't go without. So I usually spend, I think, about $20. But there again, I hate to get into numbers because $20 for me, where I live, and my situation could be totally different for somebody else. So it's not so much this numbers. You figure out what your family absolutely, the lowest amount that they need, and you go with that and do the very best you can.
Yeah, that's kind of what, yeah. So someone asked, I'm sorry guys, you're going through so fast, I'm missing the names, but someone asked, is my diet for my CFS, for my chronic fatigue syndrome or my fibromyalgia? Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, somebody was asking,
So-
what is that diet?
So I'm on a modified paleo diet without any dairy. I'm on modified because I can't do paleo because I need some carbohydrate to give me energy. When I go on zero, it just is not good. The sugar in the milk help control my fibromyalgia pain. And when I go off those, I notice a huge amount my pain goes way down when I'm off the milk and the sugar. For milk substitutes, I don't really drink a lot of milk anyway, or eat ice cream or that much. My biggest problem is cheese. But I do use flaxseed milk. That's the only milk I've been able to gag down. I've tried almond, I've tried coconut, I've tried all this other stuff. I don't like it, and half of them make me sick, although I noticed in those it's the carrageenan that's making me sick, not the almond milk and all that. So, I do flaxseed milk, and as far as sugar, I pretty much just have to cut all the sugar and just go without. So, yeah, that's pretty much. Now, back to the question on our food budget. We, oh, I'm sorry, Donna. I don't mean to look angry. I'm concentrating on...
she's reading the
I'm
comments.
reading the comments.
And she's thinking.
And it's hard to smile as I'm reading the comments, trying to figure out what I'm thinking.
Well, and you're also not feeling good.
Yeah, and I'm not feeling good today at all. So, the dumb green drink the doctor gave me.
That's why I'm laughing, because she was trying to gag down
hand
this
me my
green
green
drink
one.
before we started, and it was a crack up trying to
Where is it?
get it drank.
Right over there.
Smells like something I cleaned
That's
up
why I
in
was
the
laughing
shower.
when you were talking about what
So
you're
this
eating.
is what the doctor had me drink, and today I decided to try it before the show. Stupid move, and it made me really sick. And this is green vegetables ground up with collagen powder and pumpkin seeds and bio something or another
Look at
oil.
Jack's face.
And flaxseed.
Look at Jack's
Here, come
face.
here, Jack.
Come here, Jack.
Come here.
Show them what you were looking like.
Come here. Okay. Here, you want to try it?
Here, have a cookie.
And honestly, this made me horribly sick. It was Mike's bringing out the donuts.
Mike's getting the powdered sugar donuts out.
So I won't be drinking this again. I can tell you that. But oh man, it's gross. So guys, we totally understand. There's special medical issues and that kind of thing. But for me, back to my grocery bill. I'm sorry. I don't have like an envelope that I use anymore. Because I know what I need and I know how much it's going to cost, and I don't overspend. Like, I buy the kids one package of cookies every 2 weeks, and that lasts them. And then we make homemade cookies for the rest. And I buy like 3 bags of chips every time I order. That's all we get for the 2 weeks.
Okay, it goes back to
So-
if you do the portion control and watch what you eat on snacks and everything, it's almost an automatic thing. You won't be spending as much money because you won't be having to replenish your stockpile because you're not eating quite as much.
Yeah, Big Bear, I think he'll turn into the Hulk if he drinks that. Quite frankly, I would rather just try and gag down 2 big salads a day than to drink this. I spent a half an hour and I drank about a quarter of it, and I'm like, I forget it. I have done a lot, but yeah, I just haven't, I can't do that. Yes, Donna, I will try and Google him and see what he says. Okay. So, where are we at? Oh my goodness gracious. I am pooped. Alright. And part of the thing on processed food, guys, I have a hard time. I know, you can yell at me. Mom's parents are almost 90. He'll be 90 in 6 months. And 88. So 89 and 88. Mom's parents are 89 and 88. Still living at home. Still walking a mile every day.
Socially, they're more active than what I am. Doing
Grandma
stuff.
has eaten processed Kraft macaroni and cheese every day for lunch for literally the last 75 years. She tells stories of how that's all every day they take their quarter and go get a box of Kraft
even like
macaroni
your
and cheese.
great grandma would eat sausage gravy on toast and.
They don't hardly eat any though. They just eat a little
But
bit.
that's it. They have
They
the
don't,
portion
yeah.
control.
And like my great grandmother lived to be 93 or 4 and just died of old age. My great grandfather lived to be 100. He did have some heart attacks, but still he lived to be 100.
Uncle Hugh.
Yeah, my uncle was like 99 when he died. My mom's grandma was 99 when he died. Mom's other grandmother was 70-something when she died.
But it wasn't from...
She had diabetes.
But it wasn't even from that. They messed
took
up her medicine
away.
And
so it's
sent her
like,
body into shock.
Yeah, so I don't really know that...
there really isn't a whole lot of real evidence
know.
on some of this stuff. And until they get that really hard... If you look at both sides, people look at the one side... And you tend to want to go that direction. You've got to look at really all this stuff.
Yeah. So Patricia says my biggest part of groceries is my cleaning supplies. See, I don't get that either.
No,
What are you using for cleaning supplies? I spend maybe $3, not even $3. I probably spend $1.50 a month on cleaning supplies.
I don't even spend that much.
And we clean 3 times a week. Our bathrooms and everything. And what I do is I make homemade cleaner, but even when I buy cleaner, I just squirt it on and wipe it down.
One thing for cleaning supplies, put the cleaning product on your rag instead of squirting it all over everything. If you buy like furniture polish, put it on the rag and then dust. Don't spray it on the piece of furniture.
Yeah.
You'll save a whole lot just doing that.
Yeah.
And that type of thing.
I don't Swiffer my floor every day because the kids drop so much water and stuff. I just mop up whatever section got water on it. So maybe people are using Swiffers and stuff, I guess. But I don't use disposable things.
Yeah, don't start the disposable stuff.
Michelle says, I love my cheese. I would rather have cheese than drink milk. That's my problem.
Yeah.
I hope I can eat the sheep cheese. I don't know. We'll see. What do you have to cut out of diet to avoid sugar, Tina? I don't really eat that much sugar anyway, actually. I don't eat it. I put 1/4 teaspoon in my tea that I have 3 to 6 cups of a day. And I use 2 tea bags to make those 3 to 6 cups. I eat a little bit in my oatmeal. I'll eat sweets if they're gluten-free, but like cheesecake or whatever. So, yeah, so... I don't really eat that much. Okay. Yeah, so Leona, what I did was the amount that I got down, I put it at the back of my throat and then drank some water to get it down, and I just finally gave up. The doctor's just going to have to deal with that. I just can't do it.
Dolphin Man says this is one of your best shows.
Okay. Yes, Tasha, exactly. That's the problem Mom and I are having. Recent studies have showed salt does not affect your health like they thought. Exactly. I went to the doctor 10 years ago. We called him Doc Hogue. Oh my goodness. I wish we could have had Doc Hogue on the show. He was hilarious. I mean, he was, I just can't even explain it. He was a doctor, but he was
an old country doctor.
He was an old country doctor that was
like 117 years old.
Yeah, he was in the back of this vet clinic, this nasty vet clinic in Missouri. And I mean, the ceiling tiles were falling down. It was gross. You peed in a cup and he read your pee and then he poured it right down in the sink right there and you were just like, ugh. But he told me, he said, you're drinking too much water and you're washing all the salt out of your system. You need more salt. Every single doctor I've been to has told me you need more salt. It does not affect you in the good ways that they thought it did, and it's actually harming people more. So that's where Mom and I are kind of having a problem with all of these healthy eating things is every 3 to 5 years they're changing it.
Well, I just saw a thing. Do you know where drinking more water came from, where that idea where everybody started drinking more water? Gatorade started an ad, I don't know, it was in the 80s or something, because they want people to start buying Gatorade, and they started telling everybody you have to drink more water, and if you don't drink this much water, then you're going to be sick. And they started all these ads and people started drinking the water. People don't realize too, where they come up with you have to drink 8 glasses of water a day. That study was done, they use that study a lot. It was done on men who were soldiers in the desert doing their drills. And that's where they came up that these men needed the 8 glasses of water a day. In the desert, grown men. So children and women don't need near that amount of water. And now, guess what? They've come up with these other studies saying, just drink when you're thirsty. It used to be you had to drink before you got, but they said, so I've lived so many years now. I have watched all these food fads and things go one by one. At one point in my life, people were mad at me because I was eating butter instead of margarine. And the woman that was mad at me, she said, you would lose, well, first of all, I was 105 pounds, so I really didn't have a weight issue. She did have a very weight issue.
Oh, Carrie Fisher died.
I thought she was dead. Didn't I tell you that the other day?
No, she hadn't died when you... Oh, did you know that?
No, how did this come up just now?
Somebody posted it on here. Oh, that's too bad. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, how do I keep talking about water now?
I'm sorry. It shocked me. I'm sorry.
But you've got to watch, like I got not a flyer, it was a little newspaper from a health food store. And I read every single article that they had on this supplement or these foods that you should be eating. And every word they used was, it may help, it could help, it's thought to help, it's believed to help. They have nothing positive. So be careful that you really watch these things, that you're not just being, everybody says, oh, this is great for you. Really know look at both sides of the issue and study it. Oh,
yeah,
great.
Well, sorry to end it on a sad note there. I hadn't heard that she had actually died. I heard her mom had posted she was doing better, so... yes. Mother of Many Horses says, I listen to my body as to what it needs. Exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly, Big Bear. It's medical practice for a reason. Mother of Many Horses, Carrie Fisher was the gal who played Princess Leia in Star Wars.
That Michael loves.
So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, bacon was bad. Now it's good for you and all. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Yeah.
That's why I go back time and time again. I eat it all, but I eat it all in moderation and keep my portions under control.
Well, I think that's why when people say something's just going to kill you and it's horrible and terrible, that people have been eating for centuries, it's hard to know for sure if that's really a problem.
And my dad, he did have heart problems. And he had one of the best heart doctors at the time in the country. And my dad said, okay, I'm trying to eat this really good diet. And the heart doctor told him, he said, people have a misconception on that. He said, more stress causes heart attacks than their diets half the time. So you got to be careful. If you're stressing over Jack was reading the food label on something, people are stressing so much over every little bite they put in their mouth that it's almost counterproductive because it's causing their heart more problems by just the stress and the worry. Am I eating organic? Am I eating meat? Am I not eating this? You get so stressed out about it. Can I afford to pay for this food? That you get stressed out with that. Where do I buy it? And that type of stuff. So be really careful that you have balance on everything.
Yep. All right, guys. So we've been on here an hour and a half, I think, or 2 hours. I don't know where we're at now. But grab our Dining on a Dime cookbook, please, and help support us. Or Mom's Penny Pinching Mama. Oh. So we can keep giving kisses and hugs to cute little guys.
Love you.
And we're going to be back tomorrow at 4:30 Mountain. Mom and I are going to be popping in and out while she's here because we're doing some tests on trying to get our live stream constant going. And so give me a thumbs up one more time, guys, if you had a good stream all the way through so we can kind of see. I think we did. Thank you for sticking with us, all of you who stayed with us. Diane, Mom portion controls by using a small plate. Meat should be no bigger than the size of your fist. Vegetables, twice that, and then a tablespoon of fat for dinner.
And I don't stuff myself.
Yeah.
I don't stuff
Let
myself.
me ask you to show the books again.
So we have Dining on a Dime cookbook, 1,200 ways to save on your grocery bill without using coupons, without having to grow your stuff, and without shopping at warehouse stores. Just how to cook with your regular grocery store. even if you don't have a grocery store, just a tiny one. And 500 Ways I Lived on $500 a month. Mom's Penny Pension Mama. This is only available in ebook now. We're going to try and get them on Amazon, but it's probably going to take us months, guys, to get Amazon printing it. So, and then, yes, Donna, found is good for us.
What they want to hear on organizing.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys want to hear on organizing?
Give us some specific questions.
Big Bear said tomatoes can kill you. They are part of the nightshade family. Now, you would have to eat an 18-wheeler truckload in one sitting, but they can kill you. Exactly, Big Bear.
That's exactly our
point. What do you guys want to know on organizing real quick before we go? I know we're leaving.
Give us real specific questions like
how
to clean a toilet or whatever. That's not organizing, but...
Yeah, is there anything you guys want to know? Lucy wants to know how to organize her life. Don't know if we can get
I was going to say
that deep. Actually, Jessica found her old copy of Penny Pinch Mom with the yellow cover. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh, wow, that is funny.
How not to be a slob. How to organize papers, Jessica wants to know. Super Geeky wants to know how you pick up after yourself. Put it back where it belongs. Christina, drawer organizing. I'm going to be doing that after Mom leaves. I'm going to be going through my cabinets and everything, reorganizing them because they've really gotten to be a mess. Your staples, how to store your spices. Okay, this is the bane of my existence, is storing spices. So I'm going to need some help from you guys on that one. Paperwork, organizing the office receipts. How do I get my son and husband to do it? Cupboards, huh? You can. Mm-hmm.
Well, so I'm a really good person on organizing stuff like desktops on computers because, like, once my entire desktop on my computer was, like, filled with, like, thousands of files and pictures, and I couldn't even see my background. So I decided to organize it
You did a good job, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. You just did it, didn't you? You just got in there and you did it. That was
Jennifer wants to know how to organize the pantry and the laundry room.
And it's pretty short.
Mm-hmm.
How to organize a cookbook. Yes, Tina, we're writing these ideas down. How to organize a tiny bathroom, how to keep clothes under control, how to declutter small things like junk drawers, okay? I'm going to be doing those after Mom leaves, the drawers and the cabinets and stuff. How to organize my son's homeschool stuff. Well, I don't homeschool, but it's the same principles we can do. Kitchen is a nightmare, Patricia says. Refrigerator. Marianne says, Jack is too cute.
He just laughed.
My fridge is a mess. Okay, let's see what else we got here on YouTube. Paperwork, organizing receipts, cupboards, stockpiling food for emergencies, homemade cleaners, prepping bills, sewing room, organize the car, the pantry, computer desktop, yeah.
Am I staying for the next 6 months? Is that what
So, that's why we're looking for a place with a... See, what I want to find...
We should go on a marathon.
A marathon?
We should go on a 12-hour marathon.
Organizing marathon.
So what I want to do is... what am I reading? I'm reading the comments, Janice. Everything that everyone's putting in here. What I want to do is get like...
You work every single day, right?
Mm-hmm. On $25 on that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You just have to, find it. If you have to live off a box of oatmeal is $2 and something, and that'll be enough. The bigger box will be breakfast for a whole month. That's the type. It may not be as much variety as what you're normally used to, but there's $2.50 for a large box of oatmeal, and that's for a whole month of breakfast. And you can just find something like that for lunch. Maybe soups for a whole month, and you'll just have to do stuff like that. It won't be as much variety, but you can do things like that.
So, Tammy, I had thought about Skyping some of our viewers and having them put a camera and sitting there and talking them through organizing.
Oh, how to organize their cabinet or something.
I thought that would be cool to do. I don't know. maybe I should find somebody. The problem is our Skype doesn't work very well, so I don't know. But
Actually, you all can get started before we even start the organizing by finding one small section, either it's one cabinet or someplace, and get rid of the trash
yeah,
and stuff. Just start off with that.
just
you
start
have
with
to,
the trash.
You
yeah.
have to start getting rid of all the trash and the stuff you don't need anymore. Then you organize. So
Yeah.
you could even start that before we do our...
Yeah, just get started with the trash, guys, and then we'll start working you through
And
it.
then it's like different steps. You have to get rid of the junk first out of there. Then you'll have more room, and then you can see how to organize.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. So we're gonna go and collapse now.
Drink some more green stuff.
Drink some more green
Yeah.
stuff. No, I'm not drinking more green stuff. I'm sorry. That's it. I'm done with green stuff. All right. Tomorrow night. What are we doing tomorrow night? Did we decide?
Organizing.
Oh, getting motivated to organize.
Motivation.
Yes, Nancy, sing Let It Go as you're organizing. Let it go, let it go, I don't need it anymore.
Actually, put the music on. It will inspire you.
Yeah, Kathy, the trash in the pantry drives me crazy. I'm like, can you children not hit the trash can? Ugh, I know, drives me crazy. Okay, guys, we will see you
Tomorrow.
Wait. Did anyone on YouTube say that they had frozen? Because
Did anybody on YouTube?
No, sorry, on Facebook. Because YouTube
No.
froze.
No.
No, Facebook did not freeze. YouTube did.
Okay, so that might not have been
So yes. Okay. We will see you guys later tomorrow at 4:30. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
4:30 Mountain.
Oh,
How to get motivated to organize.
so we're supposed to be wrapping this up.
So you're supposed to be cutting it off.
Oh,
Yes, watching hoarders motivates me to clean.
Yes.
Lynn, 4:30 Mountain. And we need a kissing moment. A moment of kisses.
Do you want me to organize your desktop?
Well, since you and Dave.
Nance
What?
needs
Once we're
organized.
using it.
The boys have stuff all over mine, don't
Jonathan said Facebook froze just a tiny bit.
Mom,
Yeah, I saw that. I'm glad he told us though.
No, I didn't go after Christmas shopping
Mom,
this
could
year.
I help?
We're still live on YouTube.
Could I organize your desktop? Could I?
you? Give him a kiss from Nan.
Okay.
Give him a kiss from Nan. Give him a kiss from Nan.